If he'd have followed the rules, they'd all still be alive right now.
Jim, why are you so eager to take any of this at face value, Jim?
There has got to be an explanation. And none of you fucking people seem to be looking for it.
What's the deal, my familiar? You're rocking with the Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you another From Season 3 Theory video. We're going to break down something that I think is really important, and that is the new spot that we seen Kenny and Jim stumble upon. This seems to be a major thing of this season. What's going on in this new camp type site that they found out there, and what's the significance to it? In this video, I'm going to break down everything that we know about this spot and everything that I think is going to happen there, and who, if anybody, is living there. And if you like videos like that, do me a favor, thumbs up this video, spread it across the realm. 500 is the like goal. Let's try to get there and beyond. While going out looking for any sign of Tabitha being alive, we see Jim and Kenny go out into the woods. And for some reason, they must have got their shit messed up because they wound up in a spot we have never seen before. A new location that was never seen before by any other residents that we know of in this town. Now, the first thing they stumble upon is these totems. What's going on with the totems? And why were they put there? Well, if we ask ourselves the question, have we seen these totems before? The answer would be yes. When we look at the talismans, it seems that the totems are almost identical copies of these talismans. Now, if the totems predate the talismans, we don't know that because we know Boyd found the talismans by accident, but it's a good chance that these totems predate the talismans. Then it's a good chance that these totems serve the same exact purpose. That they use these, they put them around their settlement, and they use them to keep the monsters out of the settlement. And that's what the totems are for. When we look at the first totem that they stumble upon, it seems to have some type of crown of thorns on top of its head. But the interesting thing is that the eye appears to be damaged on this totem. We have seen the one eye damage trope in this show happen many a time, but in particularly dealing with this season, when Jade sees the guy drinking from the skull, we can clearly see that this guy's eye is also messed up. So does that mean that he is one of the residents of this place, or does it mean that maybe he's someone they're trying to keep out? Also, when we see Ethan wake up from his dream, when he scans through Victor's room, we can see a white figure that to me looks exactly like this totem. So Victor drew a picture of this totem. Why did he draw this picture? Did he draw this from memory, or is he dreaming of these things? Those are answers that we need in this show. These totems also appear to be posed in different ways. Some have their hands over their ears. Some have their mouth sewn shut. Some are covering their eyes. When we see Jim and Kenny first get there, we can see the pinhead totem and the one with his hands over its ears far away from each other. But in the shot from the trailer, we can see that these totems seem to be closer together in the same spot. So does that mean Jim and Kenny moved them, or are there people in this town that did move these totems closer together, trying to scare everybody away? As far as who is living in this town, or a little settlement as we're calling it, we don't have a lot of clues, but the clues we do have are significant. And the first one is dealing with the cabins themselves. First thing we have to look at is that these cabins are extremely small. Jim and Kenny are not tall actors. They're average size, maybe a little bit shorter, but their heads are clearly above the roof line when it comes to certain sections of the roof in this cabin. So these cabins aren't made for huge people. When we see them inside the cabin at night, when they hear the footsteps walking around outside, you can see that they're not having the greatest time sitting in them, that it's kind of small for them inside there, that it's really not made for people that their size. So does that mean that there's munchkins running around here or some other type of threat? Well, I'm going to tell you exactly who I think these cabins belong to right now. If you're looking for that Good From merch, some t-shirts, make sure you click the link that's in the description. Have all the t-shirts you need. Go check those out and support the channel. Now, we have heard many a times Tabitha talk about the children, and we have seen Victor's mother say she wants to save the children. Victor said that he has seen his mother's body and that he buried his mother's body, and we all assume that Eloise somehow made it out of this town, and Eloise is the one who painted these drawings of these ones that we see in the basement. But what if Eloise didn't make it out? What if Victor's mother didn't die? We know his memory isn't what it's always supposed to be, so it could be something else going on. What if they escaped and they're living in these towns, that they are the ones who created this and they've been back there? That's a possibility. There's also another possibility that other residents from this town escaped the town early and made this little settlement for themselves. The factor we have to look at is the size of these cabins. They are small. They look like they're made for children, child size. So the Akui children could be up in there. They could have been experimented on inside of here, or they could have been saved and had them live out here to try to keep them safe until they can figure out a way to get out of this place. Now, the construction of these cabins seemed to be something that a child could not do. So there had to be an adult on site to build these things. And the fact that there are so many of these cabins, you would think there would have to be multiple adults out there who knew how to build these things. These are not just tents, they look like solid structures. Now, I know people think that maybe Christopher is out here and he helped build them. To me, it doesn't seem plausible because of the size of these things. We have to take that into consideration, how small these cabins actually are. In the promo poster we got, if you look closely, right by the Anakui girl that's there, we have the goat to the left of her, but to the right there is a person right there on that tree branch, and they intentionally made this person extremely blurry, that if you zoom in on him you cannot see exactly what's going on with this person. But I have ran it through a couple of processors and a couple of images, and I came up with this image of this person. And when we look at this person, it's someone that we haven't seen, but we can see that this person is small. This person cannot be tall from the way they look in this, and it seems that this person would easily fit in this cabin. Now, is it just this one guy, or are there multiple people like him out there? That's the question we have to answer. So is it Eloise? Is it Victor's mother? Is it this man that we see in the picture? Those are all up for debate, even Christopher or anybody else. But I do believe this has to do with the Anakui children, and I do believe the picture of this man are who are in these cabins and living now. Now, whether they're nice or whether they're up to evil, we don't know yet. We shall find out. But I don't believe that there could be cannibalistic people in here just living off eating people. I do believe that these people, from what we have seen, have the totems outside, meaning they're trying to keep the monsters away from them. So if they're trying to keep the monsters away from them, we have to assume that they are some type of humans or some type of people that the monsters would be hunting. So therefore, I cannot see it being anything dealing with the monsters themselves or people who are down with the monsters themselves. It just seems like it's people who are randomly trying to get through this place and figure out their own way out of this place. But you tell me in the comment section, who do you think is inside of these cabins? Who do you think is controlling the cabins, and what are they up to? If you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and of course, subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.